midday sun, and she beamed with joy. With a newfound burst of joy, Dorothy helped her new father push the heavy bucket along. Inside the house, Ridgie carefully stroked the wolfskin, a trophy of Juan's prowess. Juan, sitting across from her, wondered for a moment why she would want to hang such a pungent pelt inside their home. But then it occurred to him that perhaps the skin held a deeper meaning for her. He watched her and noticed how much she seemed to value it, which filled him with a quiet sense of satisfaction. Ridgie and Dorothy sat beside the pelt together. The little girl, brimming with curiosity, brushed the soft fur with her hand. In an innocent and adorable gesture, Dorothy began to comb the wolf's hair using a small stone she had found. Seeing this, Ridgie couldn't help but smile, creating a moment of domestic warmth that was truly happy. Juan found himself smiling too, easily swept up in their collective joy. A little while later, Ridgie stepped outside to begin preparing their meal, carefully laying out pieces of fresh meat. The reddish steaks, cut with painstaking care, promised a dinner that would be both abundant and nourishing. Juan watched her work the meat intently, realizing that this was how they preserved their food in this world. He made a mental note to pay close attention so he could learn to do it himself next time. He smiled, seeing how pleased she was with the bit of animal fat he had managed to save, glad that his instinct to keep it had proven useful. Still, the reality of his situation pressed on him. He knew he had much to learn in this implacable new world. He needed to figure out quickly what held value here, how people bought, sold, and traded, and he wanted to familiarize himself with their ways as soon as possible. With that thought, he stood up, determined to stop resting and get back to work immediately. However, as he rose, Ridgie stopped him, her face etched with alarm and worry. She gestured frantically, pleading with him to sit back down and rest his body. Juan simply shook his head with a reassuring smile, trying to show her that he had rested enough and that his aches had faded. He placed a hand gently on her shoulder to assure her that he wouldn't overexert himself and that she could be at peace. Ridgie hesitated for a heartbeat, then finally nodded and stepped back to give him his space. Juan took his axe and headed into the forest, looking for a moderately sized tree to practice on. He had heard that oak was excellent for firewood, though he wasn't entirely sure how to recognize it yet. Relying on his raw power, he raised the axe and channeled his strength into a decisive swing. It was a powerful blow that showcased his extraordinary strength. But because he used a bit too much force, the axe suddenly flew out of his hands, spinning out of control. He clutched his head in alarm, unable to believe he had done something so foolish. After searching for a while, he finally managed to gather a sufficient amount of wood to keep his family warm. He hoisted the heavy basket of firewood onto his back and returned home cheerfully, ready for a cozy night. Upon entering, he found Ridgie and Dorothy waiting with faces full of concern. Before he could even